Joining me now, Sergeant Ed Mullins, who is president of the NYPD Sergeants Benevolent Association. Also with us, Katie Pavlich, news editor of townhall.com and a Fox News contributor. Great to see you both. Sergeant, let me start with you. So he is technically correct. He did not say that all cops are murderers, and therefore he believes he's been misrepresented in an effort to demonize him. It feels lousy, and it is slanderous. Your thoughts?
I think that the perception of what occurred was pretty accurate. He's with a protest that is anti-police. He's talking about murder. And whether it's reference to all cops, it is on the heels of an event in which a police officer in New York City was killed. I think right now there's a big play on words. If you look at all of his movies, and almost every movie he has written and directed, police officers are being shot in those movies. This boycott is growing across the country. In California, it's picking up. 11 major unions in California, the Public Sector Alliance, that is a coordinator for law enforcement groups and labor unions across the country, are now exploring investments of most of these financial institutions that support Tarantino to look into the pension funds. So, what's occurring here is wrong. And the truth of the matter is, both Harvey Weinstein, the people in Hollywood, and Quentin Tarantino, you're either part of the solution or part of the problem. And my challenge to them is, if you want to be part of the problem, they can contact you, Megan, or they can contact my office, and they can join in some of the things we're doing to build bridges in the community and start to work out the difficulties that exist between people of color and law enforcement.
If they want to be part of the solution.
That's no doubt, because no one else is doing it right now.
Yeah, well, Harvey Weinstein is not backing him up exactly. They say he's a longtime friend. We have a relationship with him, but he can speak for himself.
But he also funds him.
Yes, but Katie, the thing is, he's out there and he is, saying this is so vicious, that I have been attacked.
Oh, poor me.
And, this is a guy who implied certainly that he thinks many cops are murderers, and the implication was it's a wide swath, because that's what the protesters were saying that he was appearing at, and now he wants to come out and say, this guy is worth how much money? $100 million?
$100 million. Yes, it is unbelievable, the hypocrisy here. He's worth $100 million. He's made that money glorifying violence and being anti-police. We heard him loud and clear when he showed up at that rally. And further, it proves that he's out of touch when he talks about only his words being the issue here. The fact that he showed up 4 days after a New York City Police Department officer was murdered on the street doing his job, when Quentin Tarantino lives in a really nice neighborhood, which, by the way, is nice because the police officers in Los Angeles or wherever he decides to live keep criminals out of his neighborhood. He has never spent a day in the shoes of the police officer who walked the streets. He's worth $100 million. He's done it by glorifying violence. The average cop in this country makes $56,000. Who do you think is protecting the fancy red carpets that Quentin Tarantino and his friends walk when they have their award ceremonies? And by the way, notice how these Hollywood hypocrites haven't said anything until the bottom line in the money department started to become a problem, and then they started backing away from the comments. It wasn't like they condemned it at the beginning. They waited until it became an economic impact on their bottom line, and then they decided that they were going to care.
What is the harm in just coming out and saying, I apologize to the police officers who it certainly sounded like I wrongfully included them in my blanket statement. I was speaking of the ones who actually have broken the law. And of course, they can be condemned by anybody, but certainly the way he presented it left a lot of questions and a lot of anger. Thank you both for being here.
Thank you, Megan.
Thanks, Megan.